You know our first guest from 80s comedies like Police Academy 2, 3, and 4, One Crazy Summer, the Christmas classic Scrooge, and his own indie movies like Shakes the Clown and World's Greatest Dad. We welcome comedian, actor, writer, and director, the one and only Bobcat Goldthwait. Good to have you with us.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see that shot of outdoors. This is what it looks like outside.
Yeah, it's so nice.
You know, in case you don't have a window, in case you have a windowless house.
Yes, maybe
this
people
is what
do.
outside looks like. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. So yeah.
Welcome back to Portland.
Thank you. I really like being. I know people love Portland when they come there, but I'm a cliche. I like it too. But you know, I noticed on this trip that there's a Portland accent, and I was trying to figure out what it is. And a Portland accent is it's like if cats could suddenly talk. Do you know what I mean? It's quiet, but kind of judgy, right? You know, like are you gonna park there? Can I ask you something? That's the Portland accent.
That's the Portland accent.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
I had no idea.
If cats could talk, yeah.
Yeah. What is the accent like in Illinois, where you're living now, in the country?
You know, it is. I do live out in the woods, but it's very. It is. You know, it's hard for me not to be thinking when they're talking, you know, the bears. Like I go, are these guys like
Dumb bears.
My neighbor's really got the whole mustache and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I've lived out in the woods and for about 3-4 years now, and I never hung posters for movies I've made in my home, but now that I don't have visitors, I started hanging posters, and I had to buy a poster for Shakes the Clown online.
You had to buy your own poster.
I bought my own on eBay, and it came in the tube, and then I brought it to the poster shop, and a week later I go to pick it up, and swear to God, I bought my own autograph. I had signed this poster and didn't look at it. And so the guy's like, "Isn't that you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm Randy Quaid." No, I actually, what I did was, I was like, I'm going to pay in cash, but the guy did figure out that it was me. And my partner at the time, she's like going, I went to put it in the closet, and she's going, "Oh, no, you're hanging out on the wall.
Put it up, yeah,
You're hanging up there, dummy."
By the way, you shaved because recently, how does that feel?
I had a big beard for a long time, but I shaved during the holiday season because kids were randomly sitting on my lap. It was a big white beard, you know. So yeah. There's me.
There you go.
And, there's my son Taylor. I'm going to see him. And Cliff, who's your author coming out, wrote a Bigfoot book.
Right? So how appropriate
I'm kind of a big deal in the Bigfoot community because I made a scary Bigfoot movie called Willow Creek. And whatever, I don't want to brag.
Okay.
But you know, I went to a Bigfoot convention once, and before the keynote speaker.
You're one of those that goes to Bigfoot conventions?
Yeah, and so I went, and so before the keynote speaker, this guy gets up and he starts talking about UFOs, and about a fourth of the room went, like, who invited this lunatic? Hey, please keep the conversation on Sasquatch. And then the same conference, because the Squatchers believe Bigfoot has a flat head, not a pointy head. That's Spielberg BS. Yeah. So this guy had a pointy-headed Bigfoot cardboard cutout, and this other guy comes over and goes, "You disgust me. Look at you." He goes, "Well, I've seen Bigfoot 3 times, and you're never going to see Bigfoot because you smoke." So, I don't know, but because if we really get down there, the indigenous people would give tobacco as a gift to Sasquatch. So I don't know. Maybe he was talking about weed. I don't know. But that would help you see Bigfoot.
Yeah. Was that here in Portland? Because I can understand that.
No, it's in Willow Creek. But the worst day looking for Bigfoot, it's if you don't find Bigfoot, it's just camping.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad thing. I've gone a lot.
What do you mean gone looking for Bigfoot?
Yeah, out in the woods with people, and one time there was, when I was making Willow Creek, there was a mountain lion where we were. Yeah, so afterwards around the campfire, I'm sitting with this park ranger who was a squatcher. He believed in Bigfoot. He had a gun.
Squatchers.
So I sat next to him in case the mountain lion came back. And he goes, you know, I'm a writer too. I go, oh really? What do you write? He goes, well, I write tween fiction set in the Bigfoot world.
Oh.
And I go, okay. I swear to God. What's the name of your book? He goes, Yeti or Not. But then he wrote his follow-up. He had like pixies or wood imps or something,
right.
and everybody was like,
no,
they discredited that guy.
You know, you're funny just in conversation, so I love that about you.
Well,
and
thanks.
you knew you wanted to be a comedian.
I knew at 9 years old, I was at home sick, and he was on the George Carlin was on the Dinah
Oh, I
Shore.
love George Carlin.
Yeah, and I was a little boy, and I said to my mother, I go, what does he do for a living?
Look how cute you were.
This man wants to sell you a new home. The jackets, I always look like a realtor. Yeah, and I asked my mom, what does he do for a living? And she said, that's what he does for a living. And then that was over for me. I at like 9, I no longer wanted to be a veterinarian. And I also heard you didn't have to go to college.
There you go. That works.
Yeah, that was
well.
the real
And
part.
didn't you meet Tom Kenny at like 6?
I met Tom Kenny. He was 6 years old. For folks, he's the voice of SpongeBob. And Tom Kenny and I have been friends since we were 6. In fact, I just came from his house. That's where I was.
Really?
I can't say where I was, but I was in a pineapple under the sea. Yeah, that's us in high school. That's Tom Kenny. Yeah, voice of SpongeBob and a million other cartoons. Yeah, that's him too.
That
oh, my
says
goodness.
a lot about your friendship, that you've been friends since you were 6 years old, and you're still friends to this day.
I love that picture of he and I. So yeah, like I was in the other classroom, and Tom met me when the nun that was teaching my class dragged me into his classroom, and she was sobbing. And she was like,
you made a nun cry?
I did, and that's why he introduced himself. He was really impressed. Like the nun was like, I can't take him anymore. and at lunch he introduced himself, and he was really skinny. He had glasses like this, and my ego, I was like, I gotta help this kid. I really was. I was like, I gotta protect him. It was like prison stuff. I was like, I'm gonna take care of him. So
that's so funny.
So we've been friends our whole life.
And you direct. I think a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, a lot of
that
people
you're
don't know
a
I direct. Yeah, I mean, because I set the Tonight Show on fire, and then
Explain
ABC,
the Tonight Show on fire.
But ABC wasn't like going, hey, remember the guy that set the Tonight Show on fire? Yeah, he's directing Jimmy Kimmel. So they kept that like a secret.
How did you set the Tonight Show on fire?
Oh, I brought lighter fluid with me. That's what made it arson. I learned a lot about the legal system.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then it was like a news story when I was leaving court. There was press there. I was leaving court for a television appearance.
Okay.
And they go, I did say this. They go, what are you, what's going on? What are you going? I go, I'm going to burn down Disneyland. That was like my next thing. And then that bit me in the butt later on, because I was being sued for another thing, and they were reading that out loud in the transcripts. Didn't you say you were going to burn down Disneyland? It was like, I got the Lenny Bruce kind of thing going on. I go, those are my words, man. Let me say them. But yeah. So, yes, I haven't been arrested. I haven't been to court in a while. So, yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I directed Kimmel for 3 years.
And you guys have known each other for a long time, too.
Yeah, I've known him like since, that's Irv. That's our TD, our technical director. That was me when I had manorexia. I'm really thin there. Yeah. So Jimmy and I met him he was doing the morning radio. He was the producer and sports guy. And I met him, never met him before, and I've never done this before. Immediately, I gave him my phone number. I just liked it. I knew we were going to be friends. I go, here's my phone number, and I'm going to go. I was going to play Tahoe that weekend, and I asked him if he wanted to come. Yeah. And just recently, I said, why didn't you come? And he goes, I didn't have any money. And I was like, I was going to pay for your trip. Oh. Yeah. So, there's pictures of Jimmy, and I used to have a rumpus room at the house.
I'm sorry, a rumpus
room. Yeah, you don't have to bleep that. It's a real term. It was just filled with musical equipment and stuff, and people were always there and stuff. And I'm like, there it is. Yeah, so that's the rumpus room. And when David Bowie passed away, I think it's my brother reminded me. He goes, remember when Bowie, you made him play drums? Because we were. Bowie was at the house, and so he puts on the guitar and he was gonna sing.
He
and
was at your house.
He was in the basement, and I go, no, we need a drummer.
Yeah.
So I made him play drums. He was actually a good drummer, it turns out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, David would, I sound name dropping, but he would come over to the house, and I just reminded my daughter this recently. She would go, she didn't remember this. She's like, Dad, David Bowie's smoking in the basement again. She was a little rat. She ratted him out.
I love it. Okay, can you hang right here?
Sure.
We're going to take a break.
This is what I'm doing.
Good, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to AM Northwest. We're back talking with comedian, actor, writer, and director Bobcat Goldthwait. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
This conversation, I could talk with you forever.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I love how you have these long-term friendships, and one of them was also with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams was my buddy, and I miss him every day. But yeah, it was funny. I was watching the Super Bowl, and we did a Super Bowl commercial. And he was like, he called me up and he's like, B, they're gonna call you tomorrow and ask you to be on a Snickers commercial. And oh, by the way, Snickers is a great candy bar. I forgot I signed a thing that said But so they call, my agent calls up and they go, hey, they want you to be in a Snickers commercial with Robin Williams. And I go, tell them no, I'm not selling out. And then they called back with more money, and I go, no, I'm not doing it. And then Robin calls me back. He's like, what are you doing, B? He's like, I go, what? He goes, you take the second money. I was like, ooh, call him back. So I do the commercial, and then he's a football coach, and I'm on top of a pyramid, a cheerleading pyramid, and they put me in a harness, and I'm on cables. So he wraps early, and I'm sitting in this white unitard in the dressing room, He comes in, he's like, good night, B, so he goes to leave, and then the next day he calls me up and he goes, why did they have you in a fat suit? And I go, I wasn't in a fat suit. And he goes to his assistant and he goes, Rebecca, you're right, it wasn't a fat suit. So yeah, we were real good friends, and obviously I miss him, but and every day, and we actually made World's Greatest Dad up in that's a favorite picture of mine.
Isn't that wonderful?
We went to the Oscars there together, and it's funny because I'm with Robin, so I was in the second row, and people were like, why is the dude from Police Academy in the second row at the, I look like a Make-A-Wish kid. I was just like, yay. Bobby Goldthwait has one dream, and that's to go to the Academy Awards.
You also have a good friendship with Dana Gould.
Oh yeah, Dana and I are, we frenemies that became friends. So we did a tour documentary called Joyride. People can watch, but yeah, the movie starts. He goes, "We didn't really like each other when we met." I go, "That's not true. I hated you when we met." And so
why?
Because I would say a lot of it was on me. But he will say to anyone that met me before I turned 30, "I'm sorry." He was really a pest.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why Dana was. Yeah, he was the comedy gnat, and he kind of grew. He had kind of a bit of a breakdown, and then he grew into who he is now. He's a wonderful man. But and it's interesting because he and I kind of had kind of these. I was very self-destructive, even though a lot of people think I was high and stuff when I said. But
you've been sober since you were 19.
Yeah, but it's like. I think people, why would you set the Tonight Show on fire? Why would you do all the choice? Why would you repel a nude from the roof of the Oakland Coliseum? I did that during a Nirvana concert.
You repelled?
I repelled a nude. It was New Year's, so I was supposed to
did you say nude?
Yeah, I had my hat on. Because my vanity. It's like, I don't mind if people see my stuff, but I don't want them to see my balding pate. So I had the in utero wings on, and I repelled in. And I learned that if you're nude at midnight in public, you don't get a kiss. Like nobody kissed me. Happy New Year's.
Yeah, and people assume you're high or
Yeah,
drunk or
that's what
something.
they always do. But it's just, I did all this stuff stone cold sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on that trip with Dana Gould, didn't you guys get into a car accident?
Yeah, we got, and I was knocked unconscious, broke 4 ribs, and
Oh,
then,
wow.
yeah, we collided into each other, and then we broke ribs, and we.
What do you mean? Who you?
Dana and I smashed into each other in the back seat, and we should have.
Oh, in the car accident.
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
the origin of a super villain or something,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to the hospital. I wasn't awake, and I wake up, and the doctors really freaked out because I was out for a long time, and I wake up and he goes, "Where are you?" And I was like, I don't know, and I didn't. I was in Georgia, and then he goes, "Okay, what year is it?" I'm 61. I don't know what year it is. I go, "No, that shouldn't be one of the questions." I go, "I don't know what year it is." And then I see him get really nervous, and he's looking at my paperwork. Now, my legal name's not Bobcat, and he goes, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Bobcat." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Your name's Robert." I go, "I'm Bobcat." And he's like, "Your name's Robert." He goes, "You might be Bob, but it says Robert here." And I was like, Who's Robert Goldthwait? Was it all a dream? Like I had a meltdown on the doctor, yeah. And then during the MRI, the guy's like, "We'll check on you every 10 minutes," and he goes, as he's loading me into the MRI, he goes, "Are you Bobcat Goldthwait?" And I'm like, "That's what I'm trying to tell him." And he's like, "I do an impression of you," and I'm like, inside, I'm like, "Is that guy gonna do an impression of me?" And sure, I come out, and he's like, "Ah!" And I'm like, "Ah!" My ribs. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I really was knocked out for a while. It was,
Wow.
and I lost my memory for a bit, but I'm back, But I really had a little head trauma there
Yeah.
for a while.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
yeah, but I am back,
Okay.
I hope.
Speaking of coming back, we want you to hang out here and come
Okay.
back with us again. You're too fun.
Oh, well,
So
thanks.
we'll be
Thanks
right
for having
back
me on.
with more with Bob. Don't go away. Welcome back to AM Northwest. We're back.
Breaking news. Outside. It's still outside. There's buildings, and it's outside.
Bobcat Goldthwait. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Let's talk about your ducks.
Yeah,
You love your ducks.
I have 4 ducks. I have Sid and Nancy and Laverne and Shirley. And Sid and Nancy are kind of imprinted on me, but Laverne and Shirley, they kind of like me, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the gang. That's Nancy up front. I don't know why I tell you your names. Not like you're gonna meet them and accidentally call them by the
I
wrong
don't know.
name.
I
think it's funny. People go, they go, "You should talk about your ducks in your act." And I'm like, "There's nothing funny about my ducks." Like I'm really defensive. I talk about the cats. There's, there's Anderson Cooper, Alice Cooper, and Purr, and Robert Smith, and Bruce Wayne.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, because
I love it.
he looks like he's got a mask on, so he's Bruce Wayne.
You are in a holiday classic, Scrooge.
Scrooge, yeah. It's really nice being in a Christmas movie because
Right?
you go, oh, it'll be on every year. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, I like being in Scrooge. I think it's funny, like, this scene here, actually, Bill throws me into the back of the elevator. And it was really funny because I got knocked out.
Really got
briefly, yeah. So I'm on the ground and I come to because my head hit the back of the elevator.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then I think it was just there, but it's not in the movie because I got knocked. Oh yeah, that's not cool. That's an ad lib. I put on some. It took so long to make that movie, and I come back. It was like months, and I put on all these LBs, and Bill did that. Yeah, that's not cool, man. So I get knocked out, and I'm waking up, and I'm like, I gotta tell everyone I'm okay. And I look up, and everybody's walking away from me and the camera. They're like, "You did it, Bill. That was great." That's the one. That's a keeper. Print it. And I'm like, I'm okay.
They cared more about him than
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
What was the whole experience like?
It was really cool, to be making a movie with Bill Murray, and like this is like him coming off of Ghostbusters. And
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And his brother Joel is one of my best friends, and Joel starred in a movie called God Bless America that I made. And Joel was on Mad Men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I sent him the script, and I said, you know, and he thought he was going to play the boss, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I want you to be the lead. So yeah, that was God Bless America. I'm not going to take my clothes off, but the company that financed that movie, one of the partners, one of the guys who runs it, is Ted Ham, and his family's Ham's Beer.
Oh, wow.
So they were on the fence of giving me the money, and I have a big Ham's Beer logo tattoo over my heart. And I come in the office. I thought they'd laugh. I go, "Hey, you gonna make the movie or what?" It still's got like blood on it and stuff. And they didn't laugh. And I walk out of the office, and I was like, and then they called. They go, "Ted says he'll give you the money. He thinks you're crazy." So my body is turning into a NASCAR burn suit. Like I've got all these company logos on it. Yeah. No, but I'm not gonna take my shirt off right now.
One Crazy Summer was another movie filled with people who are like superstars.
Yeah, we had a great time. That was, here's John Cusack. There's Curtis Armstrong. I just saw him not long ago. And Demi, which, it was really fun making that movie. It was great making that movie. It's always dangerous on a film when I don't have a large part because they were telling me I was making too much noise in the hotel. And I was like, oh, I haven't even started. Yeah. So I went to the hobby shop, and I started building model rockets and firing them off in the hotel. Like we'd all sit there in chairs, and they'd go down the hallway. And it was like I just sat there and waited for the security guard who told me to stop making noise, and I shot a rocket at him.
Okay.
So the producer calls me up, and they go, "I don't know what you're doing in that hotel, but knock it off. They're gonna throw the whole crew out." Yeah.
He probably didn't know by the time you burned down the studio.
No, but this was before that.
Oh, okay.
I did a movie called Radioland Murders, and I remember that it was George Lucas produced it, and the party was out of control, and that I was throwing, and so they sent this producer, and she comes down and says, you know, George, they want you to pull the plug, you know, and I got her drunk, and then she ended up in one of the go-go cages.
You, Shakes the Clown. Let's talk. We started with Shakes the Clown.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Shakes the Clown working with Adam Sandler.
Yeah. It's not his first role, but often people think it's his first role. He did a movie called Chicks Ahoy before he really did. I haven't seen Chicks Ahoy. I hear it still stands up.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So Shakes. That's the second thing I directed, and I learned there. Oh, there's Adam. He's so sweet. I just opened for him a while, not so long ago. Yeah. 18,000 seats, so crazy. He's so sweet, and he's so good to all of his friends. But and I show up for the gig, and it's insane. Like, you know, Mr. Goldthwait and all. I'm like, what? You know, I'm a comic that plays comedy clubs. I mean, Helium is a great club. I really like that club. But you know, they go, "Can we get you anything?" I go, "Last week I showed up and they asked me if I brought the microphone." So I think I'm good in this arena. So
you are at Helium.
I am at Helium.
So what do you like about the Portland crowds?
Well, I like them.
Or do you like the Portland?
No, I actually really do, but this sounds like I'm sucking up.
Yeah.
But I earned it. I can say Portland's nice.
Yeah.
I'm playing. I play Arkansas. You know, I go out there. I get bloodied. So they're just I don't want to suck up too much. They seem a little bit smarter.
I'll take that.
They tend to. Our ideologies kind of are in sync. Like we were talking about, there's always a joke I put in the beginning to see how the show is going to go.
Right.
Because like we were talking, I have a new shoulder, and the surgeon goes, "Do you want an artificial shoulder or a cadaver shoulder? Like you could get someone else's shoulder." Yeah, that's gross. And I was like, "Well, I want an artificial one. I don't want to walk along and suddenly go like this." You know, I was like. I want to know where my shoulder was January 6th. And I always float that joke out at the beginning, and if they laugh at the
Yeah,
January
then you
6th
know.
joke, I go, okay, yeah.
We're good, we're good.
Yeah, they laughed big last
We
night.
want to tell everyone that you're at Helium tonight and tomorrow. We're going to put all
Yeah.
the information on our website at KATU.com. Bobcat, thank
Oh,
you
thank
so
you. So
very
nice to
much.
meet
This was
you.
a lot of fun.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.